welcome to another episode of the We Don't Wanna podcast. This is the show where two certified dipshits make uncertified takes about your favorite series. We are your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me as always, no one. I mean no one boils a potato better than him. It's Zachary Attachary!
Dude, I was like, what are you saying right now? I am pretty good at boiling potatoes.
Yeah, no one boils a potato better than you.
Let me tell you.
Let me guess. Potatoes! Potatoes! They fucking love their potatoes up north. They fucking love them.
So fucking dumb.
How are you doing this week, pal?
I'm doing stellar.
Stellar. Ooh.
Stellar.
Interstellar, even?
Maybe the best movie of all time?
Maybe. It's up
Maybe.
there.
It is up there.
Not my favorite, but it's up there.
Hey, shameless podcast plug. We talk about Interstellar.
Ooh, we do.
In our 2-part movie episode that if you guys have not listened to,
what are you waiting on?
Yeah, what the fuck are you waiting on? Go learn you something about
movies.
Go
learn you something about movies, and also that is just even if you're not like a super big movie fan, I think those are just super fun discussions and talks, and
yeah,
it's always fun when we have our buddy Chaz on because he's a good punching bag, and we love to,
Very true. Speaking of punching bags, like boxing movies are his favorite thing. So
true.
He talks about those.
So yeah, he loves him some of that stuff, but it is a legitimately very fun time. Go listen to those if you have not already. But we are not talking about that. We're talking about Game of Thrones.
We're not talking about Game of Thrones quite yet, Scott.
Jesus.
Okay, how are you doing?
You know what? I do have something to talk about. I'm doing great. I went golfing this week.
Okay.
I have not been golfing in probably like 5 or 6 years. And my cousin.
I've never been golfing in my life.
You should. It's very fun.
Dude.
What was that noise you just made? Prana?
I was gonna say probably not, but I just said prana.
Prana. My cousin randomly texts me, is like, "Hey, do you still golf?" And I was like, "No, I still have my clubs, but I haven't been in like 5 or 6 years." And he's like, "Well, I just ordered some clubs and I really want to go golfing." And I was like, hell yeah. So even though it was like 102 degrees out, we went golfing and it was a hell of a lot of fun. So,
did you get drunk?
No, I did not. I was drinking a lot of water because I was worried I was going to die of heat stroke.
Fair enough. Dude, it really has been fucking unbearable.
It's been very hot. You can probably tell I did get a little roasty toasty.
You don't blend into your wall behind you. So.
No. I got a little, I think you can see the lines where my sunglasses were a bit.
I'm proud of you, man. Were you sore?
No, actually. That's what I was surprised about because I thought I would be sore, like especially in the shoulders and stuff because I don't use those muscles or have not used them for forever. But I actually felt pretty good, and it was a really fun time. Did not die in the heat. There was a nice breeze for most of the time we were out there, and we went pretty early in the morning, so it wasn't unbearable. I mean, it was hot. It was hot as Hades. But it was very, very fun, and I'm probably looking to go more often because I was like, man, I do miss golfing. It's just I'm not super competitive with it. I'm not good, obviously, having not been in so long, but it's just kind of a cool, fun, relaxing time. So
that sounds fun. I'm glad you had.
You are obviously not convinced. I have not sold golfing to you at all.
Not even a little bit.
Well, listen, when you go, you can get drunk. Would that make it better?
Who's Hugo?
Who's Pranda? Or what did you say, Prana?
I don't know.
Who's Prana?
Okay.
That's what I did this week. Can we talk about Game of Thrones now?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Just kidding. What were you saying?
No, nothing.
All right, fine.
Nothing.
This is the recap of episode. No, what the fuck were you gonna say?
I honestly don't.
Oh my god. This is episode 33, Breaker of Chains. Season 4, episode 3, if you so prefer. This is an interesting episode. I think I like this episode.
I like this
for
episode.
the most part. Yeah.
I mean, it is You know what's funny too is like we went in guns blazing for season 4,
Yeah.
which
The first episode, also
deservedly so.
Yes.
And it's not that these episodes are not good. When I say these episodes, I mean the last episode and this one.
We were a little down last week's episode.
It is just when you put them next to the other episodes in season 4, it's a little soft.
Yes. Season 4 starts out with such a raging boner in two raging boners, one might even say.
Right.
That when they're not that great, which again, that's an unfair comparison, but when they're not that great, they do feel a little flaccid by comparison. But I do enjoy this episode, more so than last week's, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, I have to agree.
Let's jump in here. I will start us off with the recap. We begin with Sir Dantos and Sansa escaping King's Landing by rowboat. Dantos takes Sansa to a larger ship offshore where Littlefinger is waiting. Littlefinger promptly has Dantos killed and tells Sansa that everyone thinks she killed Joffrey. He says she's safe now and intends to take her home. Marjorie and Elena have a chat about whether or not she's still a queen. Olenna says Marjorie's situation has improved, and although she did great work with old Joffrey boy, Tommen will be easier. Speaking of working on Tommen, Tywin is already starting to do so while they stand over Joff's cold corpse. Tywin basically tells Tommen to, hey, listen to me, kid, and you'll go far. Oh, also, let me explain to you how to do the sex. This is Tywin's sex ed course.
This definitely happens.
Definitely happens.
Now incestion.
Incest. Oh, that's pretty good. Cersei, speaking of incest, Cersei tells Jaime.
How about that segue?
That was beautiful. That Cersei tells Jaime that Tyrion definitely killed Joffrey, and she wants Jaime to avenge their son by killing Tyrion. Jaime refuses and says the trial will determine Tyrion's fate. They start to make out when Cersei pulls away. Jaime then forcefully takes her right next to Joff's corpse in a not-so-great scene.
Yeah, it's really terrible, actually.
Yeah. Somewhere near Fairmarket, I think, Arya and the Hounds continue their journey to the Vale. They meet a farmer and his daughter, and Arya charms their way into a place to stay and some supper. Zach, you love supper.
Supper doesn't exist.
Speaking of supper, the Hound and Arya, big fans of this rabbit stew. Big fans.
Yeah.
The farmer asks the Hound to stay and work/protect them, and the Hound agrees.
Fair wages for fair work, man.
Fair wages for fair work. The Hound then promptly beats up the farmer and takes his silver the next morning, which makes Arya big mad. The Hound tells her he understands the way things are and she had better figure it out quick. At the wall, Sam tells Gilly that she's not safe here, being the only woman, and suggests maybe she'd be better off in Molestown. He takes her and little Sam there to try and protect them, but she is not happy about it. At Dragonstone, Stannis is pumped that the usurper Joffrey is dead, but big mad that there's nothing he can do about it since Davos set Gendry free. I think this is where you were supposed to take over, but I'm just going to finish this paragraph. Davos says that they can hire sellswords from across the Narrow Sea, but doesn't yet know where they will get the gold. Davos has his reading lesson with Shireen and is struck with an idea. He has her write a letter to the Iron Bank of Bravos.
In King's Landing, Tywin is big mad that he didn't get an invite to Prince Oberyn's full-on fuckfest in Littlefinger's brothel. Dude, I'm real disappointed I didn't get an invite to that either.
Yeah, big same.
Oberyn tells Tywin that Joffrey was poisoned, but that he had nothing to do with it. Tywin tells Oberyn that he had nothing to do with the Mountain killing Oberyn's sister. Tywin also asks Oberyn to join himself and Mace Tyrell as judges in Tyrion's trial. Tywin also promises a small council seat for Oberyn and to arrange a meeting between him and the Mountain. He does all of this to bring Dorne back into the fold because Daenerys and her dragons could be a threat in the east. Guy is just thinking 25 steps ahead. It's insane.
What a practical man.
Pod visits Tyrion in jail and tells him about the upcoming trial and that Sansa is gone. Pod was offered a night ship to testify against Tyrion, but refused to take it. Tyrion orders him to leave King's Landing before they kill him, and they say a heartfelt goodbye. Somewhere in the north, Tormund, Egret, and the Wildlings attack a village and kill everyone but a young boy, who they send to taunt and warn Castle Black. Fuck this boy, by the way. Just calling that now.
He just loves potatoes. I don't know what your problem is.
Some of the brothers of the Night's Watch want to ride out and fight these wildlings, but Sir Alistair and Jon know that that's what they want and that they have to stay and defend the wall. Gren and Ed return, having escaped from the mutineers at Crasser's Keep. Jon says that they have to go and kill the mutineers before Mance can get to them and learn that there are not 1,000 men still defending Castle Black.
Mm-hmm.
In the east, Daenerys arrives at Meereen, where she will probably be for the next.
I had to throw this one in
Yeah,
there.
no, that's a good jab. In the east, Daenerys arrives at Meereen, where she will probably be for the next 3,000 years.
Probably. No
Who
spoilers.
could say?
No
Who could say?
spoilers. Probably. Just probably.
A Marine champion comes out of the gates and has himself a piss in her general direction while unleashing some sick burns on her and the Unsullied. Everyone wants to fight the piss champion for Dany, but it falls to Dario 2.0, the remix, to kill him, and he does so easily. Dario 2.0, the remix, is so excited by his victory that he sprays his own piss just everywhere. Just what a fucking guy. He is the piss champion now. This is the dumbest
Who the fuck wrote this?
This is the dumbest bit you've ever written ever, dude.
Dude, I love piss champions so much.
Daenerys tells this. I mean, it's much more interesting than what's actually happening.
True. See, I gotta spice up Daenerys' section.
Daenerys tells the slaves of Meereen that she is not their enemy and that she will free them all as she did at Astapor and Yunkai. She then shows off her fancy new catapults by launching barrels of broken slave collars all over the walls. And that is the end of the episode.
Solid episode, you know?
Solid episode.
Solid episode.
It,
we hit a lot of different
episode.
characters and things. And I enjoy most of them. Most all of them. Most all of them. I'm just gonna keep talking like this.
Just gonna listen, dude. Everybody has turned off.
They fucking hate us so much. Yeah. Let's start at the top because I always ask you where we should start, and then we just end up starting at the top.
Yeah, so let's just do that.
Let's just fucking start at the top. Dantos and Sansa.
I like when you start at the top and work your way down. You know.
I thought you liked it when I went bottom to top.
I like when you do anything with it.
True.
If I'm being honest.
So
just look at it and it's good.
Dantos was a creature of little fingers. Now a dead creature of little fingers. Sansa, still the super naive child, is like, oh, he gave me this necklace and he's my loyal knight and blah blah. And Littlefinger's like, he did what I told him to do, dude. Like, yeah. He did what he did for gold. He did it for gold. This isn't one of your pretty stories.
Well, it's funny because she's like, when he tells her that he did it for gold, she's like, no, it's because I saved his life.
Yeah.
And he gave me, and then he like cuts her off and finishing telling her the scripted ass story about the fucking parents and the necklace
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Sansa's still super naive, and Littlefinger is still playing a supreme long game. I love his line, like, he is a cold-hearted bastard, but again, super practical. His line about how a sack of gold buys a man's silence for a while, a bolt to the heart, buys it forever, basically.
Yes, for eternity.
Yes, very good stuff. And yeah, we find out that this was all part of Littlefinger's plot, basically. And that he has been the mastermind behind a lot of things unbeknownst to us. So I think this reveal is super well done. He hasn't been in the show for, I feel like, for so long. Maybe it's not as long as I'm thinking, but it's easy to forget that he's even out there doing things. So for like them to go out this super creepy like Scooby-Doo ass fog boat and like there's Littlefinger, it's like, oh shit, yeah, of course he's behind this. Fuck. It's just a good reveal, I feel like.
Yes, I agree.
Good, excellent, good podcasting.
Well, no, I am afraid of spoiling certain things.
I mean, I feel like it's...
What do you feel like this reveals is what I want to know.
I feel like this is revealing that he had a hand in Joffrey's murder.
Okay.
I feel like that's...
You just spoiled everything, but okay.
Well, that's what I do. I feel like that's pretty obvious at this point, no?
I mean, I think it should be.
Sure.
But I think it could also be maybe not.
There is also, right, we're trying to dance around this. We don't want to get too spoily, but we do want to talk about these things. It's not as simple as that. There is more to it.
Okay, I think this is fair. Okay.
Right, but I think it's fairly apparent at this point that at the very least, Littlefinger had something to do with Joffrey's murder. Like, you don't have a ready and waiting person to smuggle Sansa out of the city, like, at this point in time, ready to go, if you don't have a hand in that, right?
Yes, exactly. I love the way you're like, or I'm like, I agree, and you're like, okay, thanks, great podcast. Great podcast.
The back and forth between us is amazing, bud.
Dude, we bounce off each other like nobody else.
100%.
Yeah, so that's anyway, Littlefinger is a motherfucker.
The worst. Is that all you have? Yeah, he's a real motherfucker.
Yeah, he's a real motherfucker.
Yeah, okay, excellent. Let's move on because we are dancing around this way too much. Marjorie and Elena. Always lovely to see these two.
Hell yeah. Always lovely to see Marjorie.
I might have spoiled the line Elena said last week about how, hey, your situation has gone up. You're aces now.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up for your new situation. You don't have to deal with that shit.
Elena does it too. She goes like this.
Yeah, she does. Regular Roger Ebert over here. She's like, yeah, you were great with Joffrey, but he was a sack of shit. No one liked him. You'll do much easier with Tommen.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Tommen...
Poor
child.
Mean Martin Lannister? I think it was Martin, right?
Martin Lannister.
Freaking Martin Lannister 2.0 over
He's
here.
all grown up, dude. It's just his final form, dude. He reached his final form.
Yeah. I can understand this being a little confusing for people, by the way. Is that, wait, didn't we see this kid and he got killed like a season ago? Yes, you did. I'm not sure why they chose to reuse him and recast
I just think
him.
they wanted him to be a little older.
No, I understand that.
Right.
Of aging Tommen up. They age up most of the characters in the show. But that was literally last season.
To use the same actor.
He was in the show for multiple episodes and they're just like, hey, you want to come back and play a different character?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a little strange.
Yeah,
to be
I mean,
honest.
Game of Thrones had the budget at this point. They should have just got someone else.
Yeah,
like,
it's kind of an odd
he doesn't do a bad job at all. Actually, I think he plays a good Tommen.
He does a fine job, but it's still weird to me that like this guy would have to like absolutely knock it out of the park for me to be like, okay, like, yeah, bring him back. He did a phenomenal job, but I just feel like he's fine.
Sure.
So that's why it's still weird to me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. What does matter is Tywin telling Tommen, It's all very straightforward, actually. Let me explain it to you.
Dude, this whole scene I really like.
True. Good point.
Tywin kind of quizzing Tommen, and you can also tell that, like, I mean, obviously Tommen is a soft boy, and he's gonna be very easy to manipulate. But he's also, like, he's not stupid.
Sure.
You know, he is able to reason out, like, Tywin's trivia in a way. In a way that I don't think that, like, Joff could have, you know?
Sure, but he is still playing completely into Tywin's hands, to be fair.
Sure. I'm not saying that he's, like, that he's, like, got his wits about him. I'm just saying that he's not a stupid child. Like,
No.
You know, like, he is taking in what Tywin is saying, is what I'm saying. Like, as if it's a lesson, not as if he's been played like a fiddle.
Right. Which he is, but...
Oh, yeah, definitely. But also, like, you can't fault that. I mean, he's a child king, and in any situation, a child king is going to be, you know, puppeted by someone.
Yes, and you know, if you're going to be puppeted by someone, there are way worse people to be puppeted by than fucking Tywin.
I'd rather have Tywin's hand in my ass than somebody else.
We know. Yes, absolutely. But it is a good scene. Charles Dance killing it as usual. It's just so, and Cersei kind of mentions this too. It's just so cold-blooded of Tywin to do this while they're standing next to fucking Joff's corpse.
And then he gets to Joff and he's like, better king than him.
Better,
than this fucking
dude.
Fucking sack of potatoes over here.
Tywin, how many times can we mention potatoes this episode? Tywin is just so cold-blooded, and Cersei is just, you know, like, can we not do this right now? Like, do you have to do this?
And then she has to do something
right now?
else in there that she doesn't want to do.
Things are not going great for poor.
Okay, legitimately, like, for the sake of, like, obviously, like, I mean, moving forward, but I hate this shit. Like,
it's a badly done scene. There was a big controversy when this episode came out.
It's terrible
because it was done extremely differently from the book, and there's, like, no legitimate really reason to change it.
It's aside from it just being, like, obviously, like, on one side of it, like, extremely triggering, which I'm sure is a problem. I mean, it is a problem.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I mean, it is just so uncomfortable.
And
like,
it just kind of undoes a lot of character work for Jaime too.
Yes.
That just didn't need to be done that way.
Yeah.
And at that time, I truly don't really understand what they were doing when they made this scene. Maybe their read on it was completely different from everyone else's, but I don't understand how that could be.
Like, it's one thing to do an R-word scene.
Sure.
Which is already, like, an extremely
touchy,
I mean, it's just
topic.
It's already just, like, a very uncomfortable, like, area to go towards.
Yes.
And should more than likely, I mean, I feel like as somebody who, like, has to appreciate, you know, like, film and just direction, it's there's got to be a clear reason as to why you're seeing this, like, why this is being put in front of you, like,
definitely.
And even then, it's still there is still the case to be made of, like, maybe you could just do without it, you know, and just, like, talk about it instead of show it, you know.
Yes.
Especially here, though, like, what the fuck was the reason? Why did we have to see this? You know.
Listen, that's a conversation that is probably a beyond our expertise. I personally do think that there is a place in art for basically anything if you are doing it for a purpose and, like, have a direction.
Sure.
But that's a big problem with this scene. There's
not
next to no purpose and next to no direction, and that's where this scene fails ultimately.
Yeah.
So
it's fucked up. Anyway, that's bad.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Let's talk about Arya and the Hound.
They fucking return.
Thank God, because they cannot be around enough for my taste.
Dude. This whole sequence is like you kind of want to hate the Hound, but you also like are like, yeah, dude, I fucking love this guy.
I know. He's so great. But at the end of the day, what is this? This is just another lesson for Arya that she is going to take to heart and learn from and grow. And you're absolutely right. Like, you want to hate the Hound, but also he's kind of right.
Yeah.
He's kind of right.
Dead men don't need silver.
Dead men don't need silver. And he tells her, I understand the way things are. And what does he say? Like, how many Stark's heads do they have to chop off before you figure it out?
Before you figure it out. Just, man, dude.
God damn the Hound. Yeah.
Dude needs to pull some punches with Arya every now and then, man.
But he doesn't. And you know what?
It's for the better.
It is for the better, and she will better herself from it. So many amazing lines and parts here.
Yeah.
I have to call out a couple.
Yes.
One at the very beginning, the Hound launching a snot rocket while saying, I doubt it, to Arya is just peak television. I can't even remember what Arya was telling him, but he's just like, I doubt it. And I'm just like, dude, you're just the fucking
You're
best.
just such a man.
You're literally the best.
It's ridiculous.
It's so fucking funny. I love him to death.
And then when they're having this dinner,
yes,
and they're saying grace or saying their prayers before their meal.
This was my very next one.
and the Hound is like he's going through all of them, you know, like all the seven in the light of the seven, and the Hound just cuts him off and is like, "Are you gonna say it for each one of these fuckers?" Like,
you got to do all 7 of the fuckers. So good. And then he
Arya,
finishes.
Father.
Yeah, and then he finishes the prayer for him. He's like, and please, the stranger won't kill us in our beds for no goddamn reason at all.
So fucking gross.
And Arya's like, sorry, and just like grabs it and also like dumps the shit everywhere.
Dude.
They are very wasteful with that stew, by the way.
Yeah, dude, don't let that shit go to waste.
It is dribbling everywhere, all over them. They're so wasteful. I'm not happy with them.
You think
about
there's
that.
potatoes in that stew?
Oh, I bet there's lots of potatoes. Rabbit.
Love me some potatoes.
Potatoes, love me some potatoes. You know how to boil a potato.
Here's a question for the podcast.
Okay, there we go. What's your favorite potato?
What's your favorite kind of potato? Yeah.
Russet. Gotta be a nice russet.
No,
potato.
not actual potato, you fucking moron.
I knew what you meant, you fucker.
By the way, it's definitely the little golden ones.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah. Or the little red ones. The little red ones are
great. Like in a stew, actually, they're great.
They are. I think russet potatoes, the one I said, is actually probably the worst potato, if we're being honest.
Hey, who's from Idaho? Let us know.
Hey, Idaho peeps. And also just any potato stands out there, let us know in the comments.
All right, no, but in seriousness, what's the favorite? What's the best type of potato?
Right?
I don't know, man. Is it French fries over mashed potatoes?
Yes, over mashed potatoes. I will say
loaded baked potatoes.
No, I don't like baked potatoes much at all, to be honest.
Really?
The only other one that I would put up there with like French fries is like an actual just like roasted potato, like in a stew / pot roast type situation. Like that shit's.
You think French fries are better than like breakfast potatoes? Like a breakfast like home style breakfast potatoes?
Those are up there, but I still take French fries, I think.
Okay, what about hash browns or tots?
I prefer breakfast potatoes to both of those.
Okay. Curly fries or regular fries?
Okay. Curly fries or regular? It depends. Like they need to be just like well seasoned fry. Like I call Wingstop's fries crack fries because you can't stop eating them once you started. Yeah. They've got like that sweet saltiness going on.
You know what needs to be said? I don't give a fuck who this pisses off. Okay. The little stringy fries, fuck those. Fuck little stringy ass fries.
Okay, I have a different take.
No.
Big honkin' steak fries, fuck those. Those suck.
If they're crispy,
but they're never crispy. That's the thing about steak fries. When was the last time you had a crispy steak fry? That does not exist. That does not exist, my guy.
You're so triggered.
Dude, I have strong opinions about fucking chunky ass steak fries. They're like raw on the inside. Those fucking chode ass chonkers are just, they're always cold and raw on the inside. They're not crispy. They suck. I hate them.
Chode ass chonkers.
Those chode-ass chonkers. I hate them. They can burn in hell. In fact, they should burn in hell because they're not crispy enough. How did this podcast come to this? Where did we go wrong, Zach? Where did we go wrong? Oh my god.
Oh, fucking hell, dude. Okay, what about waffle fries?
Waffle fries are either extreme hit or extreme miss.
Oh, fuck me, dude.
There's no, like, decent waffle fries. They're either really, really good or really terrible. That's my take on
Chode-ass
waffle.
chonkers.
Dude, chode-ass chonkers.
It's the best thing you've ever said.
No. I like a good thin, not like crazy thin, but like just a good crispy. It has to be crispy. That's the mark of a good fries. It has to be crispy.
Am I forgetting any type of potato?
I don't, probably.
Yeah.
But those are we talked about the best ones. What's your favorite?
It's French fries, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You gave me like 60. What about this? What about this? What about this? And you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Oh my god. Do you agree that baked potatoes kind of suck?
No, I actually really like baked potatoes.
Really?
There has to be enough butter and sour cream.
There has to be a shit ton of shit on them, like, cause they're just.
Okay, hold on. Do you like sweet potatoes?
I actually don't think I do.
Sweet potato fries. Oh my god.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I hated them as a kid, but I have not actually gone back to sweet potatoes in like years and years. So maybe I'll like them now. I don't know.
Dude, find you a place that has some good sweet potato fries because they fuck.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
So good.
The
little ranchy ranch.
Man, I'm. Little ranchy ranch. I am thinking more and more about a nice Sunday pot roast, and those might be the best potatoes. Is like I said, nice.
They're all
nice.
Just like.
No, but they're like when they're nice. Excellent sound effects, by the way. Nice roasted potatoes, like in gravy with some nice carrots and mushrooms and like beef. Like that's the fucking dream, man. That shit's good.
I don't
big
know,
shouts
man.
to Sunday pot roast.
Big shouts to potatoes, man.
I mean, this whole episode is just a big shout to potatoes.
Dude, can you just type out potatoes over breaker of chains?
I can't. No, you would have to do that. You're the maker of our titles.
Oh my god.
Maker of titles, breaker of chains.
Oh fucking.
What the
dude.
fuck were we talking about? Oh, the Hound and Arya.
I don't know.
The Hound and Arya.
Dude.
I love them to death. They're the best. The Hound teaches her another solid lesson here. I don't know what else to say about these two. They're just a fucking delight on screen all the time.
Yeah. They. Holy shit, dude! I'm like out of breath. I'm laughing so much here. They really are the best. I mean, we've said this a million times, but they're easily the best duo, I think, in the show.
Arya is one half of several of the best duos in this show.
Right.
And this is probably the number one for me. Let's see what's next here. The Wall, Sam and Gilly, I guess, is the main stuff here. Sam's in a rough spot. Like, I feel for my guy. Like, Gilly feels like he is abandoning her, and
Right.
he is trying to do what he feels is best for her and little Sam. And it's just my boy is in a rough spot, and I just feel bad for him.
I mean, I don't think that he's ever like not been in a rough spot since he's been introduced.
True.
So it just makes you feel even more for him. It's like, dude, guy can't catch a break. You know?
Right. Because I mean, he's right. Like, they make a point of, as he's walking through the yard, like talking about like the new recruits. It's like raper, murderer, thief, and raper. And it's like Sam tries to explain to her, these are my brothers, but they're bad fucking dudes. They're just terrible. They're the worst. They're awful.
Yeah.
And the main, obviously, Night's Watch member that she knows is him, and to a lesser extent, John. And they're nice, honorable guys. So she just doesn't get that. And, you know, she has no one besides Sam and her baby. So the fact that he's, you know, pushing her away, or what it feels like to her, is just like, makes her very upset, makes him very upset. It's no good.
Right, definitely.
Quick question.
Okay.
I feel like I should have gone back to confirm this or rewatch this, but I also didn't want to because it was disgusting. Did I see them rinsing out like a condom in the Molestown brothel? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
Okay, do me a favor, and people out there, maybe I'm crazy, but go back and watch the scene where like Gilly is going into like the back room of the brothel, like as they're like finishing up their talk. There's like a pan across, and it really looks like someone is like washing out what looks like a condom, and it's real gross.
That's a goat stomach right there, dude. That's goat intestine.
It could very well be. I just had to ask that question. I had to get it off my chest because I was like, what the fuck did I just see? Wasn't a potato, I can tell you that. But anyway.
Hey, speaking of potatoes.
Yeah, speaking of potatoes.
Check your email.
Oh, no. Do I have to?
Do it right now.
Okay, all right, I'm doing it right now.
Do it right fucking now.
Do it right now. Oh, excellent. Yeah. Okay. This is definitely happening then. This is just... Pardon us, folks. There was something I forgot to do here. I'm just going to have to do a little bit of housekeeping. This has to happen.
It just needs
to happen at this point. We're all here for it. Anyone who's listening is like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, if you're listening, you're missing out.
You say that too often. There we go. Fixed. All right, perfect. Little big, but I don't even care anymore. We can put that over our faces, and I don't really care. Beautiful. Episode 33. Potatoes.
Potatoes.
Potato. Why are you Italian?
I don't know.
Okay, let's talk about Dragonstone, because my boy Davos has some good shit here.
Yeah, there's I mean, you know what's interesting, and I never ever would have thought of these two as like a duo, right? Like when I think of like Tywin, Arya,
oh, sure.
Arya the Hound. But it's short-lived, obviously. There's not enough happening, which is very unfortunate. But dude, Davos Shireen,
yes,
they go hard in the paint, man. They're so fucking good.
I thought you were even gonna bring up like Davos and Stannis have some real decent scenes. Like they're not like incredible world-shaking like Arya Hound level scenes, but like, you know, you talked about it last week. When Stannis is giving Davos shit about the houses that he has rallied to his cause. And it's kind of a funny little moment there. What does he say? He has some line about like, between them, they don't even have enough men to raid a pantry or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
right.
And I'm like, okay, that's pretty good status. That's pretty good. But yes, Davos and Shireen are absolutely fantastic together. What does he tell her? He's like, because she's given him shit for being late, basically.
Right. She's like, how are you gonna serve the
Right.
king? Like when you can't even say like
Knigget.
if you say knigget or
Yeah.
something like that. Like,
which is very, very funny. And he's like, immediately was like, that happened once weeks ago. And then he tells her, "You're your father's daughter, no mistake. Bloody relentless, the both of you." And I'm just like, God damn, Davos, you're so.
dude, I love
you're
that
so
man.
fun. Yeah. He has another amazing line. When he's talking to her about Bravos, and she says something to the effect of like, "My father says pirates and smugglers are both the same, or both evil or bad, or something."
Right.
And Davos just goes, "Your father lacks an appreciation for the finer points of bad behavior." And I'm like, that's my fucking dude, Davos. That's my dude. But they're great together. And we get
it's
another.
funny because it's like it is definitely like how you have criminals who like have their boundaries,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yes.
nope, no, I'm not a pirate. I'm a smuggler.
Definitely not a pirate. I'm a smuggler. They're different. It's cool. And here we see even more coming to fruition, the seeds that were planted about the Iron Bank. And
Yes.
Davos has himself an epiphany, you might say.
Yeah, so I mean I think it's fine to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about I'm almost certain, Scott, that we talked about this when the Iron Bank was introduced in conversation between Tyrion and Bronn.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But very quick catching you guys up to speed, like they are basically the bank in the known world that we have here. And the crown has spent a lot of their money. They have borrowed an ass ton of money from the bank. And
I think
during the conversation,
Littlefinger says tens of millions at one point.
Tens of millions, yes.
In debt to the Iron Bank. Yeah.
And when we get this scene between Tyrion and Bronn a couple seasons ago, or last season, I'm sorry. That was last season. Tyrion's, explaining how debt works to Bronn, but he says, look, if like one way or another, they get theirs.
Yes.
If it's not directly from taking our money or us paying them back, they will fund our enemies.
They will fund our enemies. Yes.
So Davos knows this because he is now a learned man.
Yes. He knows how to say Knigget properly.
Knigget. So they're talking about, like, he makes a comment about the Iron Bank or something like that. How does it come up in conversation between them?
He's talking about how he was almost beheaded by a Bravosi that worked for the Iron Bank, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
And he has the bright idea to go ahead and send a letter to the Iron Bank to get funding for their army, basically, which I do think it's smart on Davos, but it's also... Look, the bank wants to get their money. Like, think about it like this. Let's think about it logically for a second. If Stannis is the rightful heir or the rightful king, they would help him become the king and then be like, hey, you owe us all that money? Or, like, would they not view him as, oh, so you're the rightful king, so technically the debt's yours. No, we're not going to help you. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I see where you're going with that, and I know what you're saying, but I think it has more to do with the fact that, and this is explained a little bit more in detail in the books, but like, at some point, I believe it's Cersei kind of makes the call to stop making payments to the Iron Bank.
Right.
So then at that point, the Iron Bank's like way to deal with that is going to be like, well, we're going to go loan money to someone who will make payments to us, who will put you out of power.
Yeah.
Basically. So I see where you're going with it. Like the reasoning seems a little bit weird and circular, but that's kind of the way they do things. That's the way they operate. That's how they get back at you, if you will, if you're not making your payments, type of thing, if you don't pay your debts. And that's what Davos is counting on.
And it's pretty funny that the Lannisters phrase is Lannister
definitely.
always pays their debts, but
yeah, big time. But those two are a delight together as always. Love Shireen and Davos, and I'm glad you called that out because they are just super fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
This brothel scene with Oberyn and Tywin.
Oh my fucking lord.
Is
insane.
Amazing in so many ways, but my absolute bar none favorite part about it is at the very beginning when Tywin comes in, all the whores, pardon me, are dismissed from the room. Full on orgy fuckfest was just happening here. Oberyn is laying there and he gestures to Tywin, would you like to sit? The way Charles Dance looks at him and like looks at the bed, which I'm sure is just covered in just so much jizz, is exquisite. And just no thank you is mwah.
Dude,
so funny.
If I'm
so
looking
amazing.
at Pedro Pascal on that bed, I'm diving right in.
True, yeah. You're going in head first and ass first.
Yeah.
Both at the same time.
Both
somehow.
at the same time. Yes.
You'll figure it out. But this scene is incredible. But that part alone, just, would you like to sit? No, thank you. Which is like the best face in the world. Is
yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, very, very good. I feel like so Charles Dance has always had like kind of this like snarky, like maybe snarky's not the right word.
Maybe a little.
Like this like little smirk.
Aloof. He's very aloof.
Well, I'm talking specifically about this smirk.
Sure.
He has had it like more so like last episode with his scene with Oberyn, and then in this scene, it's just this little.
It's like, maybe an Oberyn smirk.
Yeah, it's like a like you are a fucker.
Right. Well, he kind of, unlike with most of the people he deals with, who he just kind of tramples all over, I think he understands that he has to be a little bit more careful with someone of Oberyn's caliber. Because he does need Dorne.
Right.
And Oberyn is also just an extremely dangerous person.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's also not every day that he's going toe-to-toe with people who, like, can just take out a knife and, like, actually kill him.
Right. And Tywin even addresses that when Oberyn starts calling him on, you know, you gave them out in the order, all this. And Tywin says, and here I am, staying alone, unarmed. Should I be concerned with myself?
Right. But
they both acknowledge Oberyn's like, you know me better than that, which is why you're alone and unarmed.
Right.
So yes, there's a bigger degree of respect for Oberyn. Not that, you know, he might just pull out a knife and shank him, but that bad things might happen if you just openly piss off this guy.
Yes.
And again, as Tywin tells him explicitly, we need Dorne back in the fold. The Seven Kingdoms are not the Seven Kingdoms.
I mean, he's I love that. So, like, okay, I love both sides of it. Like, when somebody's playing the game and they've got schemes and they're not, like, they're keeping secrets.
Right.
It's cool to see those secrets unfold. But then I also really respect the game when it's like, no, this is why I'm offering this to you. I want you guys in the fold.
Yeah.
There's this. You guys are the only people who have ever been able to, like, withstand the dragons. I want you guys on our side. Like I'm just gonna be straight with you, and I love that. You know, it's cool too because you can only really ever get that type of conversation and get that result when you're dealing with two people who are like this, right? Who like are straight shooters, no bullshit. Yeah, it's just a cool dynamic. I like them a lot.
Right, and are people of such importance and like magnitude in the politics of this world, they can swing those dicks and be just like, no, yeah, this is what it is.
Yes.
There might be like, more to this and background like shadiness, but this is kind of what it is. Because
right.
like you mentioned his smirk, and the time I think it was the most present is when Oberyn just straight up asks him, "You deny having any involvement in like my sister's death?" And Tywin just goes, "Categorically." And just like there's just this long silence then between them, and yeah, there's like just the tiniest hint of a smirk there on Tywin's face, and it's like it's almost like he's saying like, even if you know I'm lying, and I think we both do know I'm lying, like what can you do about it? What can you really?
You gonna fucking kill me right now?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Is that what you're gonna do? Okay.
Right. It is a phenomenal scene, like just all the way around.
Yes.
Oberyn just being a cocky asshole. I love how Tywin tries to call him out. He's like, Oberyn's like, yeah, the king was poisoned, and Tywin's like, you studied poisons at the Citadel, didn't you? And Oberyn's like, yeah, that's how I know.
Yeah,
that's how I know he was
like,
poisoned.
Is this an interrogation? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's so good. Their back and forth is so good.
Yeah. That's how I know.
That's how I know.
Fucking know about this shit, dude.
It's very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I wanted to call out. I think it was last season. I kind of sort of posed the question of when Joffrey was talking to Tywin about the dragons, and he basically hand waves it. I was like, is Tywin being short-sighted here? Is this, should we like dock him points, metaphorically speaking? Because like he's not recognizing this as a threat. But I feel like that was just, another him manipulating whatever you want to say with Joffrey, because he does acknowledge this as the
he does. Yeah. Well, I think it's several things. Like,
sure.
Yes, it was manipulating Joffrey, but two, like I think it's just like his pragmatism too, of like even though yes, that is a threat, like what good is going to happen of us worrying about that now when we have so many other things that need to be addressed.
For sure.
So yeah, he's just ahead of the game, man. It's insane.
He truly is, and he's turning at least attempting to turn an enemy into an ally.
Yes.
And that is, a smart play. And for now, he seems to have him, somewhat on his side to be the third judge in Tyrion's trial. Speaking of Tyrion and his trial.
Yeah, this is the scene I want to talk about.
This pod scene is like, this hurts my heart, man.
Dude, it is.
Oh.
This scene with Pod, so good. And Pod has this face where you're just like, dude, I just want to hug you, man.
I know, dude.
I love this motherfucker so much.
You love Pod sex god. We know that.
A Pod sex god does fuck, literally. But no, man, this scene, like, it starts off as a categorically just good scene. Like it's on par with what we get from Peter Dinklage, with last episode being the one exception. It's just good. And then Pod stops and he says one more thing.
Yeah.
I was offered a knighthood. I'd be called Sir Podrick Payne or something like that. I don't know.
To testify against you.
To testify against you. And Tyrion, without hesitation, is essentially like, okay, you did it, right? Like, you fucking agreed with that.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, no, absolutely not. And Tyrion is like, adamant. You are a fucking idiot, dude. Yeah. Like you have no reason. Like, you need to do that. Like, basically, you're gonna be killed.
Right. Not only are you refusing a knighthood, but if you don't go along with what they want, they'll just kill you.
Yes. It starts off as a nice request and a nice prize,
Right.
And if you deny it, they will just kill you. Essentially, is what he said. I mean, paraphrasing, obviously,
Right,
but
right.
and I think we're obviously not doing it justice. The manner in which Tyrion responds to this is just like so. He's not concerned about himself,
Right.
and he is always concerned about himself.
True.
Tyrion is always like, I need to be saved. I need protection. Where's Bronn? Where's my brother? Whatever. Like, he always feels that. And for in this moment, for him to be like, I'm kind of too far gone now. Like, Podrick, you are a great person, and I need you to take care of yourself. It's such a great scene.
Yeah, it says a lot about the situation that Tyrion's in and probably how he is feeling his chances are.
Yes.
Like you said. And then also just like, you truly feel it in the moments, I think, right at the end when Tyrion tells him, there has never been a more loyal or faithful squire than you. And it's just like, oh my God.
Pod, the sex god Pain, hits him with the old side smirk, just like the.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I know.
Oh,
this scene hurts my heart.
It
Dude,
does. Yeah.
I fucking love Pod. How can you not love Pod?
Yeah,
He's so
man.
great.
It's great.
But I appreciate what you said about how Tyrion is, a pretty selfish character, but he does have his moments, where he truly is, I feel like, a good person, where he, has intervened on Sansa's behalf before, and definitely cares for her.
Just because he is prioritizing making sure that he stays alive does not mean that he is not, on the other hand, prioritizing bettering things around him. Yes, and others. Yeah. Exactly. So no, like I don't know that selfish is the right word, but just right. You guys understand what we're saying.
You get what we're saying.
You get what we're fucking laying down. You're picking up what we're putting down. And yeah, dude, this scene just speaks volumes. It's so good.
It's tough.
And it's not often that you're gonna get a scene like this with Pod.
No, right?
True. Because he's just like kind of a fly on the wall sometimes, kind of a goof.
Yeah.
So yeah, gotta love it. Gotta call it out. It was great.
Yeah, I was watching this. I didn't think I would be like finding myself just going, oh, so much, but
yeah,
I was.
I also need to make one call out here. In preparation for future episodes, and also call back to some episodes. Yes, call back to some old episodes too. These dungeons do grace us with some some bitchin' ass scenes. The Ned scenes with Varys in season 1 are great.
True.
This is great, and you motherfuckers better buckle up, because this is gonna get fucking
there are
tight.
At least 2 more that I can think of off the top of my head that are incredible scenes. So yes, stay tuned for some dungeon scenes, because holy shit.
I need to ask you.
What now?
We're gonna give you guys a little peek behind the curtain here. Prior to starting recording, I confessed to Scott that I didn't really have too many notes on this episode.
Oh, true. And we're at an hour.
I have a note here.
Oh.
And I don't.
Oh, excellent. Let's hear it. Just read it. Just read it verbatim. That's fine. Yeah, just hit us.
A man with his cock in his own asshole.
Oh!
Who says that? Where is that from?
Yeah, where is that? Cock in his own. I can't.
Who the fuck says that?
Is it the Daenerys? Is it the piss champion? Something about.
Oh, it is.
I think it's piss champion.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's Missandei translating what the piss champion is saying. Piss champion character of the week for sure. By the way, let's just get that out of the way right now. But before we get to that, a couple more sequences here. Mainly the Night's Watch stuff. So obviously the Wildlings attack the village. We get our potato lovers, some of who are now dead, and one of who is now at Castle Black, warning them that the Wildlings are coming. A regular Paul Revere.
The red cloaks are yeah.
And I appreciate that Sir Alistair tries to like bait Jon Snow into like sane and doing a dumb thing.
Right. And Jon is just like,
And Jon is like, no, we can't. That's what they want. We can't go after them. So good little character moments for both of them, I feel like. And then we get Gren and Ed back. I'm so happy to see the both of them. You know I love Ed, and I do love Gren.
Right. And also in the same breath of like the Alice or Jon thing, after Gren and Ed get back and they explain what the fuck happened at, Craster's Keep, you get another very good, like, Jon and Alistair exchange where Jon's like, okay, well, we have to go do this one.
Okay, we have to go do this, though.
And Alistair's like, we just fucking talked about this. And Jon's like, guys, let me tell you something.
Yeah. And it's almost like,
wait,
Jon,
hold on, Scott.
What? What the fuck?
Have you seen?
Oh, no.
Have you seen that meme that's fucking everywhere right now of the guy who's doing like bungee jumping and he's gonna get pushed off and he's like trying to stop them because he's afraid and he's like, let me tell you something.
No, I am not.
I'll have to send it to you.
Okay.
That's the way we said that right now.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
That sounds very amusing. I will have to see that.
Yeah.
But no, what I was gonna say is just like Jon having to explain to them, listen, I know you guys think I went over to the Wildling side and like I'm a Wildling myself. I told those fuckers we have 1,000 men at Castle Black, and we all know that's a load of horse shit. So my whole thing with this is like, Jon, why didn't you tell them like this before, like when you were trying to defend yourself? But they probably just wouldn't have believed him. But I just think it's funny now how he has to tell them, like, no, listen, Mance thinks we have 1,000 men because that's the fucking lie that I sold to him. We have to take care of these fuckers because they will get tortured and they will spill their guts instantly.
There's a very good, like, ominous one-liner that Jon says, which I think is very good, where he says, Mance has all the tools to destroy us. He just doesn't know it yet.
Yep.
Or I don't know if I got that verbatim, but that's essentially what he says.
Right.
And it's like, damn.
Yeah. There's something to the effect of like each one of us would have to kill like 100 wildlings or something like that. And Pip is just very like quietly kind of like, I don't think I can kill 100 wildlings. And it's like, yeah, poor Pip. Yeah, no shit, my dude. So yeah, this sets up an expedition back to Craster's Keep, which is some interesting good stuff. None of this happened in the book, by the way. This is
and it's so good.
It is good.
It's so good. I constantly hear. You know what? This is almost showing my
your dick. What?
No, maybe just like lack of like self accountability. I constantly hear Game of Thrones fans be upset at like how many deviations from the books there are.
Sure.
And in my opinion, it's like, yo, if it's able to provide new stuff to the story, like, have you never, like, as a reader of anything, been reading something and been like, oh, it would have been cool if blank? It's like, well, why can't somebody who actually has the means to make that do that, if it's going to be good and better the story? And this is one of those examples.
That's where I land as well. I do too often be like, oh, this was what happened in the book, or this is it. But I do try and separate them as much as possible in my mind, because I can enjoy each separately for their similarities and for their differences. And
the self-accountability thing that I'm talking about, though, is I really struggle doing that with Harry Potter.
Oh, true. You do.
The movies are mostly terrible, though, so...
Yeah, so that makes it harder. But yes, this I feel like is a very good deviation. Yeah, we talked earlier in this episode, there was a very bad deviation from the books. And that just shows that if you're going to change something... just make sure you do it right, because otherwise you're double fucked. Because then you're like, why did you change it? And it was bad.
Double fuck.
You do a piss in your
it's
asshole.
like I always like. What?
I meant to say cock in your asshole.
Piss in my asshole.
I just said piss in your asshole.
That's how Scott practices his aim.
I was thinking of the piss champion again. I'm always thinking about the piss champion.
It's like like I say this. I feel like I say this often about like art or media. Like it's not always about who does it first, right? In this case, the book versus the show.
Sure.
It's about who does it best, right? Like if something is done better in the show and it's not in the books or it's not true to the books, then fuck off. Get fucked.
Yeah.
It's better.
100%. Fuck off and get fucked, indeed.
Fuck off and get fucked. My motto, dude. My life mantra right there.
True. Last thing here is the East, of course.
Dude, it's your boy Dario, man.
Well, Dario 2.0, I was just going to say, Marine's got to be a quick stop, right? Like, just in and out.
Dude,
quick pit stop.
She's like, hey, I'm going to just stop by, set these guys free. And
yeah. And then I'm
out.
on my way. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely going to happen. Piss Champion is my new favorite character ever. Like, hell yeah to that dude.
Dude, you're trying so hard to make your bit relevant, but boy,
So
let me
hard.
tell you, reading that, I was
so
like,
hard.
This is a little choppy here.
Listen, I put that mostly on your shit reading. My Piss Champion bit was gold, I say. Dario, I've said it before, I don't like Dario 2.0. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, you don't...
I don't like him.
Well, okay, maybe it is specifically just 2.0, but I feel like you just don't like Dario.
No, I kind of liked the first one. He was like... I don't dislike him. Like, I certainly didn't dislike him from the books, and there's nothing about, like, his character or the things that he does that would make me dislike them. I don't like the way this actor plays him.
Interesting. His take on Dario is just different than what you want.
And also, there's the fact that it's just like, you started with something closer to what I think I did like and was closer to the book. Still not exact 1-to-1 for sure. And then you were just like, no, we just need to make this guy like grungy and hot and just like, like a bad boy. And it's like, I don't know. It's
funny because I feel like the other one had more of the bad boy aesthetic. This one is more like the indie, like
big time. Yeah. This dude definitely is the lead singer for an indie band. Like 100%.
100%.
That's a good call out. Yeah, I mean, he's still like, maybe not bad boy was the wrong word, but like the other one, there was more of like a kind of snarky, like shitty confidence to him. Yeah, like a jockish vibe that I was kind of into. Not that I'm into that, And this one just, I don't know, he just kind of seems lame more than anything.
He just seems like, to me, he seems soft.
Yeah, that too. Like an indie singer.
Like even the way he just stands there and like waits for the horse, like like he just, I don't know, like
it's like, dude, you don't impress me that much. They should have let Barristan fight him. Barristan would have kicked that guy's ass. I mean, you think Dario also kicked that guy's ass, to be fair.
You think, I mean, Barristan would have done it on horseback, right?
I don't know. Barristan would have done something cool.
You think Barristan would have just flung his entire fucking sword at him?
Yeah, that would have been pretty sick, actually. Anyway, I don't have much to say about this other than it was very funny, like, Missandei translating, like, reluctantly translating the whole thing. Piss Champion's got jokes, man. He's got jokes for days.
Let's go ahead and be a little objective here. Daenerys is doing a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
She is doing a good thing. And to those of you who have not like dived into the lore of Game of Thrones, or this is your first watch through, Marine is like the fucking like.
It's a meme.
Huh?
Marine is basically a meme at this point.
I mean, it is, right?
Yeah.
But I like Marine, as far as like I guess maybe not history, but just like world building in general. Like, this is like the slave capital. Like, this is and also the richest, like biggest, most powerful city in this area of Essos.
Of this area, yes. Of Slaver's Bay. Like, you could argue like Volantis is like the slave capital.
Sure. Okay. Right. That's probably true.
But of this area, sure. It looks impressive in the show, by the way. Like, props to like I think like the CGI and stuff does work for me here. I think it looks like the city looks cool.
Yeah, it does. Even when you know what, dude? Actually, I haven't thought about this until now. Even when the rider comes out, how small he looks.
Yeah, in comparison to
it gave me Troy vibes.
Oh, sure. I can see that.
Which I love Troy, so
Troy's great.
Troy's fucking amazing.
Troy's great.
Yeah,
this
look,
champion should have been
Daenerys looked hot as fuck. Missandei looked hot as fuck.
True.
Dario looked hot as fuck.
Dario looked like the lead singer of an indie band.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Jared Leto over here.
Jared Leto. True.
And yeah, she's doing some good things. It just, boy, if this is your first time watching the show, just pitch a tent, man, because we're gonna be here for a while.
Oh, you don't have to tell me to pitch a tent. This is I hesitate to even bring this up because this is such a shitty criticism, because I can't even imagine how difficult it must be to act in a foreign or a made up language, actually, for that matter. But her yelling out this stuff to these people in
doesn't work for you.
It's just, I was just like, this is so lame and cringe, and like, I don't think she's selling this very well. And again, this isn't even a fair criticism, and I shouldn't have even brought it up, because acting in a made-up language must be hell. Like, that sounds difficult.
Yeah.
I
appreciate the you being a little introspective here.
Thank you. I do what I can. Anyway, it's, you know what? Launching those slave collars, that was cool, and the way she's attempting to pit the slaves and the masters against themselves inside of Marine, like destroy Marine from within, for lack of a better way to say it. Like, good idea, good on you, cool thought process, way to go. There you go. There's my nice Daenerys thing of the day.
For sure.
Let's fucking do Who Be Thrown In. This episode's long as hell.
Who be thrown in?
Who be thrown in? Where we last left off, Marjorie Tyrell, I believe that was her first place ranking of Who Be Thrown In. She was at number 1. Oberyn was at 2. Olenna was at 3. Tywin is at 4. And Sansa, her first appearance, I believe, at number 5. I definitely took the time to get a new picture of Sansa. Ignore this. This definitely is,
season
is
2
fine.
As Sansa.
12-year-old. Sansa. She doesn't make the list, right? Like, she's...
Yeah, no. Fuck
okay.
no. Are you kidding me?
I just wanted to make sure. Oberyn and Tywin definitely make the list, yes?
I agree.
Does Marjorie make the list? I think probably no.
I don't think so.
Her and Olenna have a very brief scene, and it's good, it's fine, but I think there's others.
Like, the only thing that's gonna put them on the list is positioning. So we need to figure out who else we want on, and if their reasons outweigh simply just positioning, then I think they're gonna fall.
Fair enough. We can leave them for now, but I'm going to say, where are you, my guy? The fucking Hound has to make the list.
Agreed.
He has a phenomenal episode.
Yeah, absolutely agreed.
Who do you think?
I was actually kind of thinking John.
I could see a John.
But also, and you're not going to like it, I could also see a Dany.
I could see a Dany. I don't love it, but I can see it. Another character... Hold on, let me find Dany. Where are you? Well, I know you're in here. There you are. Another character I would like to make a strong push for, I think this character had an amazing episode, is my guy, Sir Davos.
Okay.
Not only just performance-wise, he was very funny, but I do think, him having the idea and writing to the Iron Bank is a big deal. So I think on both counts, my boy Sir Davos deserves to make.
Interesting.
list.
Okay, well, now we have a little too many people.
We definitely do. Is there anyone? Do you want to consider like an Arya? She's just great as usual.
I mean,
but
she is great as usual, but I think the Hound stole it from her.
I agree. She was a
Like,
little,
very much in the same way that I don't think that we can have both Marjorie and Elena. I think it'll be either one or the other, if they're even going to be on.
You know who has to make the list?
Are you going to say Pod?
No. Well, maybe. Littlefinger has to make the list. Like his engineering of what is going on in King's Landing is pretty masterful.
I mean, it is. I feel like you're saying that with God perspective.
No, we talked about like he is maneuvering. He is doing his maneuvering.
I just don't think that the episodes are really flushing it out enough.
I think I disagree. Who else did you say? Pod?
No. I don't want him.
Okay, I was gonna say yes, but we do have too many here. I think Marjorie and Olenna can come down.
Okay. I'm okay with that. All right. Who's number one in your eyes?
My heart says Davos.
I don't agree with that.
But that probably won't fly. So I would have to say it's between Oberyn and Tywin.
Not the Hound.
Or the Hound. Yeah, I could see anyone.
So, in my opinion, it was either Tywin or the Hound.
Yeah, I was just about to say I think Tywin slightly gets the better of Oberyn in their conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he's also in charge. He's
right.
He's bringing Oberyn along for the ride.
I would be totally fine with either the Hound or Tywin at number one. You make the call.
I'm gonna go Tywin.
Okay. I do not disagree. So we're good with the Hound at 2 then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hound goes to 2. Does that put Oberyn at 3? Do we think someone else? Maybe not, actually.
Man, does Oberyn for sure make it?
Maybe not.
Maybe not in this episode. Like,
maybe not.
Other than his gesture to have a seat.
I mean, he's very, very good in that entire scene. That's not fair.
He is, for sure, but I don't think it's quite the caliber.
How would you feel
for that to be the only merit, like for that to be the only reason he's on?
Sure. How would you feel about Davos at 3? Because that's who I feel, of these people we have left, that's who I feel the most strongly about.
Yeah, you know what? This is the episode where he sends has Shireen do the letter. That is.
That's a
you know
big
what?
move.
I think I'm okay with that. I agree. I do agree with that. I think I'm gonna say Danny Littlefinger, in that order.
I was just about to say I think we can cut Jon safely out of these. I think he is definitely the odd man out. I think he had a solid episode, but not like an incredible episode. I do think it's these 3. I don't necessarily disagree with Daenerys and Littlefinger. You said Daenerys first, then Littlefinger?
Yes.
Man, it feels wrong to leave Oberyn off here, but you might be right.
I just don't think this is the episode for Oberyn. I mean, it's
right.
He's great and he's cool as fuck, but he has had his time to shine and he will have more time to shine. Like,
all right.
What he does in this episode doesn't do anything compared to everything else that we're gonna get from him.
That's true. You probably won't hear putting Littlefinger at 4 and Danny at 5.
I mean, make your case, but I just don't see
I just think that like his maneuvering to get Sansa out of King's Landing and into his quote unquote custody as well as, yeah, I mean, we talked about it. He obviously had some hand in Joffrey's death, and he is making moves, and he did it in a way where he is beyond suspicion, basically. All Daenerys did would launch some catapults and kill the piss champion.
Well, I mean, no. Come on, man. Daenerys has conquered cities and is on to the big bad, to the next one.
But she hasn't conquered Meereen yet. Like, she hasn't accomplished much at Meereen yet. Stress on yet. But it's not there yet.
Oh boy.
I think it's Littlefinger for it. Let's just try that on for size.
I'll concede.
And see how it
That's
feels.
fine.
Let's just try it on for size.
I mean, it's gonna feel right because I don't love Dany.
Hey,
it feels right.
That feels real good, if you ask me. All right, that is who be thrown in.
All right.
For this week, once again, that is Tywin at number 1, the Hound at number 2, Davos Seaworth at 3, Littlefinger at 4, and Daenerys at 5. That's a list. A solid episode. Solid episode.
Yeah, solid episode.
Potatoes. I totally had already forgotten about that. Oh, good old potatoes. Hey, hit us down in the comments or in the Discord. Hit us with your potato opinions, your hot potato takes.
Oh, yeah. And also, if we forgot about a certain type of potato, we got to know. Let us know how you like to make your potatoes. Because I'm going to try some recipes.
I kind of feel bad because we dismissed mashed potatoes very quickly and didn't have a...
I mean, mashed potatoes, fuck.
They're very good, yes. I just want it to be known that I don't dislike mashed potatoes. Here's the true question. Brown or white gravy?
To be honest, dude, I don't fuck with gravy on mashed potatoes.
That is... I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, no.
Don't...
Nope.
It's called mashed potatoes and gravy.
No, dude, just leave. I mean, this whole time we were talking about mashed potatoes, not and gravy.
Well, that's because the and gravy is so, like, ingrained in part of it. You can, it's assumed.
Nope.
I can't even believe what's happening right now.
I don't
We
like
need to end this episode before I kill you, but, like, that's like mac and cheese. You don't just have just mac. You psychopath!
I mean, we weren't talking about fucking just noodle types.
No, but I'm saying it's that important and integral to the whole is the gravy.
No way, dude.
What the fuck is happening? My worldview is shattered. Who are you? You're no friend of mine. What is happening here? What I'm learning and finding out through this is that my opinions on potatoes, I almost said my potinions.
It sounds like something that's growing on your feet.
My potinions. I gotta get medication for my potinions. My potato opinions are much stronger than I ever even realized. Is what I'm finding out,
dude.
Take us the fuck out of here, Zach. Jesus Christ.
If you guys love potatoes, follow our Instagram. Follow our Twitter.
Ooh! Potato bread and potato buns especially.
Oh, potato buns
are some of the fucking best.
Rule, dude.
There's the potatoes we forgot. We got you. We got you, chat. We got you, chat.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at We Don't Want a Pod. Shoot us a DM if you guys are trying to get involved in the Discord. We'll send you an invite link. Shut the fuck up.
My asshole, dude. Potato buns are so good.
Potato buns are fucking good. We appreciate you guys for listening as always. Thanks for being a part of our potato bullshit, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Potato tier list coming soon.
Well, now we gotta do it.
Oh, shit. How the fuck did it go?